Part of my occupation is to produce every 3 months, 40 and 4 brand new policies. I've become an insurance agent and opened my own agency. And I love what I do, and I do it very well because I get to take care of people. And if they get in trouble, they call me. But I don't always feel like I'm going to get that 40 and 4, and I always do. It always works out. But it's always till the very last minute. I mean, Tuesday is the end of my deadline, and I'm sitting here, which I can't imagine a better place to be. And I find that a lot of times, if I will just take my mind and go party. Last night I went and had a party, and when I left the party, there was a message, "Hey, we got 7 for you, come on." Just go ahead and do it. Is that really I think that really is the answer. It's just to... But I let that crunch catch up with me every 90 days, and so I went and got the grid, because I don't quite get that concept. Maybe there's more that I can get myself tuned into so I don't have the crunch at the last minute. The knowing is there. Man, it's kind of harried walking down the halls when there's, one door closes and another one opens, but it's a bitch in the hallways.
As you focus on this energy and you recognize that it's in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So there's a balance that you're wanting to accomplish. For the most part, when people are experiencing negative emotion, that uncomfortable time before what you're wanting has manifested in a way that you can see it and believe it, it's almost always without exception because they are focused upon some sort of lack in a strong way. It's either a lack of money or a lack of time or a lack of space, a lack of something that they want. Time shortageness is something that in this very fast-moving environment a lot of you are dealing with, and it's not because time has become shorter, it's because desires have become more. But that's really not the total answer here. It's not just that time hasn't become shorter, but it's not just because choices have become more, it's because focus has become diminished. Which is the reason that the idea of the torrents isn't such a good idea. In other words, the more that is out there, the more that is out there, then the more watered down you become. If your phone is ringing 50 times a day, you're less productive than when it rang 5 times a day. If you're spending the whole day answering emails or getting on Facebook or trying to answer so many more people than you really want to have in your life at any point in time, you are creating for yourself a time shortage. But it's not the time shortage, you're creating for yourself a focus shortage. Because when you're focused here and 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 here, you don't allow the momentum that will really help you, you see. And so that's what you were describing to us, that when you step away from that feeling of responsibility, from that feeling that you gotta do it, and you step back into a place of more relaxed experience, your frequencies balance out a little bit because there's not so much frenzy, which means the resistance leaves them and your vibration raises, and then you allow the contents of your vortex to flow more comfortably into your experience. So there's been a long time debate, really an argument with humans about spirituality and materialism, and we say everything that is here is spirit, and so whether everything that you manifest is that. But the argument has also been about how much action should I apply, or how much thinking should I apply? Should I be meditating, or should I be working? Should I be trying, or should? And that was the reason that we began describing the 3 steps to creation. That, of course, the contrast is going to force you to focus. It just is. You're going to focus, and desires are going to be focused into your vortex, whether you know that they are there or not. But they are. They are the byproduct of life experience. They are the byproduct of the extraordinary exposure that you have to so much that is around you. So all of that contrast is putting all kinds of things into your vortex. So the faster life goes, the bigger the economy is, the more options that you have, and the more experiences that you get to live, the more you put into your vortex, and the faster that energy moves, which means it is more and more and more important for you to bring yourself vibrationally up to the speed of that which is in your vortex. But if you're trying to do it with action, if you're trying to do it with accountability or with responsibility or with diligence or with effort, what happens is you get into that time shortage mindset, because that's not the way the universe is established. This isn't a universe that is built with action. It's a universe that is vibrational, and the things that happen are about alignment with one thing or another. Alignment with things wanted and alignment with things not wanted. So as you are pretty clear that you've lived enough life and you're putting things into the vortex, those rockets of desires, is certainly right. That's where goals go. I really want that, and I really want that, and I want to meet this quota, and I want to do this more than I did last month or last year. All of that is the byproduct of exposure to life. But once it's there, leave it there. Don't keep beating the drum of the question. If you keep asking the question and 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 asking the question, you are never, ever, 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 ever going to hear the answer. Give it a rest. We heard you the first time. So once you've asked the question, once you know what you want and you've put it there, now it is time to prepare your grid by making sure that you're expectant, by acknowledging. You said several things. It always comes, but you always also said it always comes hard. So you've got two expectations that are converging, that are giving you what you want the hard way. So it's time for you to start saying what you want, but start putting easier dialogue around it. It always comes, I don't know why I sweat it. It always, that's a really cute thing you're talking about, being the bitchy place in the hallway, but it does not serve you. It doesn't serve you. It's really funny. It got the best laugh of the day, but better than ours, and we were a little irritated. But it does not serve you, because one door will open and another door will open and another door will open and another door will open. And friends, you don't want all the doors to open at the same time, because that's focus that is diffused. You like it when one door opens and another door opens and another door opens. And if you can trust that within this vortex, the contents of the vortex is all that you want, and in there with all of everything that you want is source, is your inner being, all who know the precise timing that would give you not everything you want, but it's not the everything you want that they're ready to give you, but the precision of the timing of it. In the same spirit that you don't want every meal that you will ever eat to come to you today. You don't want them all today. You want them to come and satisfy you and come and satisfy you and come and satisfy you for all of the days of your life experience. And that's the way the contents of the vortex are coming to you. So there are only two things that are controlling what comes to you and when it comes to you. And that's your desire and your belief about it. Your desire, there's a better word, your desire and your expectation about it. And your expectation is what we're talking about when we talk about this grid. We want you to see that the grid is the preparation of your expectation. When Esther says, this equipment is magnificent. I love pushing a button and all the shades coming down, and I love pushing the button that says good night and all the lights turning off and the sound system's turning off. I love the ease of all of that, and I love walking in and pushing the welcome button, and I love the house lighting up and saying hello and things flashing and music coming on. I like every bit of that, but it's finicky, she says. But it's finicky if she could leave the finicky part out, if she could leave the troublesome part out, if she could just appreciate what it gives and not condemn what it doesn't give, because she's keeping it active in her vibration. It's an expectation. I always do it, but it's hard.
I wonder if I like that.
Well, we think you like the drama of it a little bit. Esther does too. And part of it is because you've learned, it's another expectation that you've been carrying around for a while, that says something like, my effort will be rewarded, my laziness will not. Effort is valiant and virtuous, and there's no gain from it. There must be pain to have gain. And so, yes, it is something that you sort of, Esther has a to-do list, and quite often, even though nobody's going to see that but her, Sometimes she does things that weren't on the list, and she still writes them on and crosses them off from time to
Same
time.
thing.
Because there's a part of her that wants some credit somewhere for her hard work, you see. But when you allow the universe to yield to you, when you get into this place where you're really tending to your grid, meditation is a wonderful way to do that. And lists of things that you appreciate, rampages of appreciation, looking for positive aspects, all of that from where you are would be really good for you to apply. So you get to this place where your vibration is consistently in alignment with what's in your vortex, so that the ideas are flowing in, and then sort of magical things begin to unfold. Magical things that any one by itself may not be that big of a thing. In fact, it might even be something that people looking at it and not understanding this could call a coincidence. But when a whole sequence, day after day, hour after hour, week after week, flows into your experience, you begin to, just by paying attention to what's happening. I wanted it, I lined up with it, and it flowed. And then this happened, and this happened. As you acknowledge that, you begin practicing a vibration. It's an expectation of worthiness. It's an expectation of just knowing. Do you remember being little and just being loved for no good reason? Do you remember somebody who just loved you? You didn't have to jump through hoops. They just loved you. It was unconditional. It wasn't based upon what you were proving. It wasn't based upon what you were earning. They just loved you. And they were sort of few and far between in your world for most of you, because most people still believed that their happiness depended upon them seeing things that pleased them, and you were part of what needed to please them. And so you sort of got roped into being a good performer to keep others happy, and in the process you lost your sense of unconditional love, unconditional receiving of the goodness that you deserve. And so, yeah, we think that you're trying to earn something that is unearnable. And if you can accept that it is unearnable, oh, that was a big one. That was the best quote of the day. If you can accept that the love that you seek is unearnable, can't earn it through your effort or through your hard work, but you can line up with it through your absence of resistance, then you start discovering it's not magic, it's just natural. But you start feeling this natural flow of well-being, and your desire to perform and jump through hoops begins to diminish. And then, if you've been listening to us for a while, and we know you have, you discover a leverage. There's a leverage in alignment that just is not available in misalignment. When you take the time to tune in, to care about how you feel, and reach for thoughts that feel better and better and better, so that you're expecting good things to come to you and to others to come to you, what happens is this vortex flows in such effortless fashion that people who watch you are really surprised. And we think that a lot of you, Esther does it too, play to the peanut gallery who hasn't learned that. So instead of letting it be easy, you make it harder than it needs to be. You don't have to justify the well-being that flows to you. In fact, you can't. Not one of you could ever do enough to earn your right to have sunshine every day. It's not on anybody's list. Not any of you are keeping track of the sun coming up, and even if you were, you couldn't control whether it does or not. And there's not enough that you could do or pay for the benefit that you receive from the sunshine that shines on this planet. There's nothing that you could do. It's just bigger. That reward is bigger than anything that you could earn. And on and on and on it goes. Your planet spins in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets. The water moves around in perfection and keeps your earth nurtured. In other words, the well-being that you are experiencing just by being here, you could never do enough to earn it, because it's not about earning. It's about an unconditional love and well-being that is shining on you at all times, and you are to varying degrees allowing yourself to receive your part of it, you see. Really good conversation.